Hey everyone, and first and foremost, thank you for clicking on this video. And this is Investment Blabber. And in this channel, I try to bring to you my own interests in investments in general. Things like real estate, silver, Bitcoin, the stock market. These are just things that I find myself sort of intertwined with and looking at almost every day, definitely at least a few times a week. And I'm looking to do this series to just share with you what my thoughts are, and where I see the markets going, and so on. And hopefully you find this content helpful. So let's get started. I normally take a look at a few instruments, and ones that I've been into for the last couple of years were mainly silver and Bitcoin, and lately a little bit of real estate. So let's take a look at this first one. And I took a look at my phone and saw the updated numbers, the prices for each one. So I'll go over sort of what I have in mind, and I'll add some charts here as we go as well. So again, let's get started. First on the list would be silver. If you're new to my channel, I guess you all are. I only have one subscriber, but I've gotten some views. So take a look at my previous video for silver. You'll see that I was looking at that, I think, when the price was about $32 per ounce or so, and we've just broken $40 per ounce. So amazing accomplishment for silver as an asset and as a commodity. And breaking that $40 an ounce means that this is, I think, about a 13 or 14-year high. So it's been slowly trickling up, and definitely has been going up since my last video. That's not to say anything about me. As an investor, things could have gone up or could have gone down, but given some of the basing in the price of silver, just the fact that it hasn't gone up nearly as much as gold. Gold has been on a tear for like a good 2 years now or so, or a year and a half. And so I saw an opportunity in silver and saw that it could lead to something, and so far it has. We're up, I don't know, 25% since then, since a few months ago. But if you know silver, you'll also know that it's been a grind for so many years, and just kind of going nowhere, and very frustrating while gold is going up. Although even for gold, it's been a grind for like a decade. It's just really over the last 2 years that it's really, or even a year and a half, that it's really been picking up. So if you're new to silver and gold, great, you've done well. If you're newer, if you've held it for a long time, you know that this sort of feels like something that's we've been waiting for, and you could say maybe deserved if you've held on to those assets and so on. But looking at the chart of silver, breaking through $40 an ounce quite confidently, and on the chart, all this is it's beginning to look vertical, right? Beginning to look like it's coming to a hyperbolic sort of inflation, where it's just going up in price. So we might have that. We might have $45 per ounce very soon. Weeks, 1 week, maybe even days. It is possible. And then $50 could come after. That would be a new all-time high. And I can even see, with that base that we've built, that all this pricing action over a couple of decades, or at least a decade. The last high was in 2011, and before that in the 1980s. So just the way that we've been going, I don't see a reason, really. It just seems so logical that an asset that was that price in 2011 and 1980s would reach that same price again, and I would say should surpass that. And on the chart, it's not gonna look it's gonna look very normal whether it goes to 50 or 45 and slightly, and kind of deteriorates from there. or if it goes to 60 or 70 or 80 or 100, all of that in hindsight would look really clear and sort of like obvious. But of course, none of this is obvious. We're at $40 an ounce right now. What I'm doing personally is I'm selling a little bit. If you're into silver or gold and you're just building your assets, you'd hate to hear anyone saying that they're selling, but I sold a tiny bit, and I'm talking like 1% of my silver holdings, just as we go up here. I think every $5 an ounce or so, that's maybe what I'll do, just as a way to be able to take some profits, but still stay very much in the game. That way you sort of minimize regret, and that's a method that's been working well for me. Now, the thing with silver and with gold is, once we reach the peak, whenever that is, whether it's a few months from now or a year from now or 3 years from now, it has the potential of then grinding slowly and going back down in price and becoming, a bad investment for a long time. And I mean a long time. With silver, for example, I got into it right around, Corona time, COVID time, 2019, 2020, 2021. I was getting into it, and you see, it's been 5 years now, and it's really only been the last half year that's really been a substantial bull market to the upside. So if we go back down, no one really wants to sell, especially if you're into it and into the idea of precious metals, but it might be the correct investment methodology, just given the fact that you can always buy back if things go down. And currently we have to recognize that we have been going up. We've been roaring up, both with gold and now with silver as well. Now, what am I doing personally? I'm holding, basically. I sold like with that maybe 2% so far. That's nothing, and I'm really holding on, because I know that in bull markets things can get crazier than we even imagine, similar to in bear markets when things go down. Now, we haven't seen bear markets in a while, but that does happen, and just in a similar way as Nvidia going up and up and up and up, silver might actually do the same thing and might actually do it quicker. So that's where I'm at with silver, $40 an ounce. Gold just hit 3,500 an ounce, so super impressive. That's a double over the last 2 years, I believe, or something like that. So for gold, that is lightning fast. And the quicker that we rise up, the more cautious I begin to be, and the less sustainable I think that this rise becomes. So that's why I'm bringing these thoughts to you. All right, next on the list, Bitcoin, BTC at 109K, 109,000 US dollars. Wow. When I convert that to Canadian, we get closer to $155,000 per one Bitcoin. That's I don't want to say insane, because it's not, but very impressive so far, and great. Now, looking back at my previous video, if you look back, my last video there, not that I have that many, only 3 uploads so far, but the last one I talked about in December 2024, so about 9 months ago, about Bitcoin and where it could go past 100,000. It was just getting to 100,000, making a new high, and now we're past that, confidently past that. We've gone to 125 and now down to 106, 107, 108, and now we're at 109 something. Where we go from here is up in the air. Similar to how I've been selling some silver, I've been selling some Bitcoin as well, with the idea of putting it into other investments. And as much as you have or as little as you have of it, just think about percentages. Don't think about absolute numbers. I mean, clearly I'm not rich. See where I'm broadcasting from. But anyways, you just do with what you can. Remember, if you sell 1% or 5% or 10%, that's the same as any person with any other amount selling that 1% or 5% or 10%. To them, it's, you know, it's a similar game when we're talking about percentages. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, even though so far there's been a really nice rise with Bitcoin, and I've been selling a bit, maybe closer to 5% instead of 1 or 2% like I've been doing with silver, because it has risen a lot. But it could go more, and it could rise substantially and very, very quickly. One thing we know for a fact about parabolic, hyperbolic changes in the stock market, in prices, is that the very last little bit is when prices rise the quickest and rise the most. That's where that mania happens, where you'll see the media say, I mean, I can just see it, I can imagine it so clearly. Everyone piling up on it, on Bitcoin. Let's say it goes to 150 quickly here. You know, we're at 109. Let's say it goes back to 125, passes that high, 130, 140, 150. It's so easy for everyone in the media to get wrapped up around that idea and, you know, propose $1 million per Bitcoin. So I'm not in that camp. I think that once we see people kind of gather in that camp, that's the time to actually begin selling, probably quite heavily, because with crypto, similar to how silver can go down and take time, crypto doesn't take as much time and it will recover, but the drop will be significant. So, you know, if we see 200,000 or 250,000 per Bitcoin, and if that's, you know, if that's that peak of the hyperbolic pattern, it could easily be that from there we just go down very quickly and revisit 90,000, less than 100,000, 80,000. Just imagine how painful it would be for someone to buy at 250,000. Think it's going to $1 million, be so sure because of the graph just kind of pointing there. And then for things to slowly crash to 100,000 and then less, 90,000, 80,000, 70,000, 60,000. That's probably where any type of crash would sort of like stop, unless we start crashing now. I mean, who knows what will happen. But let's say that we go up and we peak from there and we then start going down 60K or down to 50 or 60 or 70K would be very painful. That's like 75% off for someone that bought higher up, yet it still aligns with the previous highs that we've had, like 75K. It's actually kind of recent, only a couple of years ago that we even got there. In 2021 we got there as a peak at 70,000. So it all depends on your perspective and how long you've held the instrument for, and how long you want to hold it for, and what kind of you know, losses, paper losses, you can stomach. But for me, because I'm watching it fairly closely, I don't really want to be in that 2 to 3 years of bear market with Bitcoin and crypto. I just don't want that. I believe that we can take some advantage, good advantage towards the peak, sell, convert to dollars, and from there convert maybe right away to something else that does have a potential that's maybe more hated. What that is, I'm not too sure exactly, but I can tell you things like oil. Now, oil is a commodity, but it is different to silver and gold, and something like oil, if it drops to, you know, it's at 60 something right now, 64, 65 per barrel, which is considered low for the times, just given that it's been to 150 before and 120. But let's say that we go down from here to something like the 50s, then I would say that's, you know, that's a great commodity, that's a great asset to pivot into from those other resources. Maybe real estate as well. So that's Bitcoin. Again, 109, call it 110,000 per Bitcoin. So it's up, it's high. And again, if you look at the long term, you'll see that parabolic curve on the chart. I'll try to pop it up here. And so yeah, just consider that you're kind of playing with fire a little bit. So just make sure that you're not putting yourself into a situation where if things drop, if prices drop, you'd regret your investment. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Now, next is the stock market in general, and let's go with the S&P 500. I'll bring the chart here. Now, when we look at that and we look at the long-term chart, you can see that hyperbola going up and just up and up. And so that's also a sign that we're probably towards the end of a bull market. Now, with that said, you could have said something like that for the last 10 years and you would have been wrong, or for the last 5 years, and no, about 10 years, and you'd be wrong every time. You'd get like a 20% correction, maybe freak out, but if you didn't buy there, the market just ran away from you. And it's I don't have the chart in front of me, but doubled to tripled since then. So yeah, you don't want to be losing on those gains either. So far with the stock market, and just given that it's representing a real thing, it's really representing the US economy and North American economy, all the biggest and largest equities, companies that are in there. If you generally believe in North America, that it's got a future, that, those haters and whatnot, that all those doom videos are not necessarily right, then that would be a good way to keep your money. And if that drops, it won't drop as much as crypto. So overall, I would say safe. It is safe. But even with the stock market, at some point, I think it does make sense to begin taking money off the table a little bit. And mainly if you have another investment to go into. But even if not, if you're in something like Nvidia and it's doubled over the last year, if not more, and now it's trading at 180, let's say it goes to the low 200s. I mean, if that's a life-changing amount for you, I would probably sell 25%, sell half, maybe see what other opportunities there are in the market. The idea is just that, when things go up so much, they become more exciting, they become more popular, but the move has already gone. And so, what we might expect from them, linking it to the past, is just not realistic. And that's the reality of it. So that's the S&P 500. So again, I would say there may be another pump, and we should just monitor it. So subscribe to the channel. I'll be monitoring this for you. We'll see where. Now, I do think that with Bitcoin, stock market as well as metals, we'll have another pump. How high that goes, I'm not sure. But if we go even, at a steeper, sharper vertical angle, and the next pump brings us to, stock market that instead of the last pump moving up 10%, maybe it goes 20%. Or if Bitcoin doubles from here or close to, sort of quickly in those few months, that's probably, a sign of a topping rather than a sign of stability. At that point, you might want to sell some more, wait for a dip. That dip buying is very, very difficult because it looks bad. So, but that's where you gotta buy if you want to be in the game. Otherwise, if not, you might get lucky and it goes down some more and you're right. Or it might just do what it's been doing for the last decade, the last 10 years, which is go down, drop down 10, 20%, and then way back up. Well, thank you for listening to me. I hope I didn't talk your ear off. And I will be uploading more. I'm into this. It's kind of what I watch, like I mentioned a couple of times a week. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I'll be uploading more and more frequently. And any comments that you have, any questions that you have, please let me know in the comments. I will reply. I will interact because this is just something that's important, I think, for anyone at least living in North America and in the Western world, in the modern world, with the inflation that we've been getting and the high cost of living, wages not really keeping up. All of this is quite important. So Thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you in the next one.